All right, what is up, my friends? Welcome to another Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. Back to the modern this week after a pretty fun standard deck last week. I think it's super sweet. Check that one out. And we are playing quite the wild brew. I've been seeing this deck pop up a bit on the 5.0s, and the most recent 5.0 was from Magic Online player Chubby Rain. So again, this is Chubby Rain's deck, not my deck. And this is a 4-color Super Friends deck, where Super Friends, kind of a fun reference to just, a bunch of heroes coming together. In Magic, it refers to planeswalkers typically. And Carth the Lion is our Super Friends leader here. New card from Modern Horizons 2, which I know isn't actually the current new set, but came out like 4 days ago, it feels like. So we're still exploring the Modern Horizons 2 cards, despite the D&D set being out also. 4 mana for a 3/5, so decent stats, a little expensive. Whenever it enters the battlefield or a planeswalker you control dies, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a planeswalker card from among them, put it in your hand, rest go in the bottom. So that's pretty good, honestly. So always card advantage. A 3/5, going to draw you a planeswalker basically every time you cast it. And then whenever a planeswalker dies, you can get another planeswalker, which is super awesome. And it has the ability of planeswalkers' loyalty abilities you activate cost an additional +1 loyalty to activate. So that means every time you use a planeswalker ability, you basically get to add 1 to your planeswalker. So for example, if we have a Kaya in play, Kaya comes in on 3. We go to -1 the Kaya to exile something. That will equal out to a 0 ability instead, and Kaya will stay on 3, which is pretty awesome. So we get to Edict for -1, +2 each player discards a card, 1 damage for 0 loyalty, +2 to get a land back, so on and so forth. So big body, big blocker, card advantage, and then bumps up all the planeswalkers. Now, best way to cast a 4-drop on turn 2 in Modern, of course, is the Arbor Elf and Utopia Sprawl package. Turn 1 Arbor Elf, and then turn 2 play a Sprawl on a land, tap it for 2, untap it with Elf, tap it for 2. That's 4 mana on turn 2. And of course, Arbor Elf and Utopia Sprawl are very reasonable, just as mana accelerators anyway. This deck really wants to go 1 to 3. So that's pretty sweet. Also have Oath of Nissa, which is essentially just Ponder in this deck. Comes into play, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature, land, or planeswalker from among them. Put it in your hand, rest go to the bottom. The only cards in this entire deck that Oath of Nissa cannot get are Oath of Nissa and Fatal Push. Otherwise, you can get whatever land you need, whatever planeswalker you need. If you need a Carth the Lion, it gets everything. And it also makes all of your planeswalker spells castable through any mana at all. So once one of these is in play, you can cast your Wrenn and Six, your Liliana, your Carth off all forest if you have to, which makes life super easy. 4 push for interaction, 21 lands. I also have a Karn the Great Creator package here. So Karn can go on the sideboard and fish out hate cards like Ensnaring Bridge, Chalice the Void, Pithing Needle, etc. Also can get win conditions like Walking Ballista and Wurmcoil Engine, which is pretty cool. So we like that. And just a lot of good value here. Obviously, Wrenn and Six is a freaking great planeswalker. Can kill small things, gets back lands. Liliana kills things, makes your opponent discard their cards. Liliana kills small things, gets cards, gets lion back. Kaya is super awesome, gains life, kills things. Grist the Hunger Tide, the new addition here, and just a great engine of making creatures, sacrificing to kill things. Just a nice variety of planeswalkers here to kind of get that spread going, where you have like 4 planeswalkers in play at once, and you're like up here, down here, up here, down here. Works pretty well. A little bit of a sideboard here besides the Karn board, but for the most part, this deck's pretty linear and pretty grindy. Looks really fun. I'm pumped to play it. You should be pumped to watch it. And let's go. First, we work from our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com.
Cool Stuff Inc. is proud to sponsor Jim Davis. We offer great deals on card games, tabletop RPGs, board games, and more. Get a free token featuring Jim Davis and take 5% off your next order if you use the code JIM5 at checkout. CoolStuffInc.com. Cool stuff in stock.
All right, round number 1. We are on the draw. Opponent has revealed Lurrus, and we have like an Utopia Sprawl and some Kayas here. Honestly, Kaya's probably gonna be pretty good against this Lurrus deck, so we're gonna keep this. I could get Thoughtseize into Oblivion here. Thoughtseize on my Utopia Sprawl is gonna make our hand look pretty bad, but they're gonna play Aboro Palace in the Clouds. Okay, and Hedron Crab. Honestly, I'm not sure how this one's gonna go. Mill is our first matchup. We draw a Wrenn and Six. Now, we're just going to sprawl into Kaya for sure, so We're going to play the Forest here. We got to name white so we can cast Kaya. Kaya should mop up their crabs really well. Although I'm not sure our clock is good enough to actually win the game before we get milled out. This could probably be a pretty bad matchup for us, honestly. We don't really present a fast clock. We're a slow, grindy deck. And it's going to give them plenty of time to mill us out. So I'm a little scared here, I'm not going to lie. Although that's a good sign. Just casting Visions to draw 1 card on turn 2 is pretty good for us. That means they are desperate already. Do they not have a second land? They do. They do. So there's your first mill effect, Land Lion Sprawl. And now Wrenn and Six is live too. All right, that's pretty sweet. So nothing else. We get to play our Kaya. We get to exile the crab. And we need to find a way to win the game quickly, which unfortunately we're not very good at. Not really a win quickly kind of deck, but ultimate on Kaya deals damage equal to the target player, equal to the number of cards they have in exile. Unfortunately, that's not really going to be a ton. I mean, ultimate on Liliana is great. It's very slow. Grist ultimate. Don't have many creatures in my deck, so not really a lot of ways to win fast. Hopefully we'll draw a land, we'll play Carth, and then we'll hopefully just drop some planeswalkers and get this ball rolling. But I am concerned. This does seem like a bad matchup for us. Fetches a basic. Interesting. I'm going to go for the Hideous Laughter, which exiled 14 cards. That exiles cards until you hit a total mana value of 20. So 14 cards, not much different than just casting the blue mill 14 or mill 13 cards. So we draw land here. We'd like to draw land and cast Carth the Lion. It does exile the cards though. Liliana of the Veil, but we can't cast it because our mana is a little bit awkward. So the only actual castable card we have at the moment is Grist the Hunger Tide. We could play another Kaya, obviously, but not great. Grist not exactly the fastest clock of all time. It also ends up milling us too. Ugh. Yeah. This is a pretty sketchy matchup. Oh man. All right. Well, they have 5 cards in their hand. Yeah, we can cast Liliana, so I get in their hand too. We actually can't cast anything yet. So pretty awkward game. Definitely not ideal. They're going to tap for a black. And they're going to Surgical Extraction my Carth the Lion. Ugh, we have one of those in our hand too. That don't feel good. How are we going to win this game? Like, I don't know how we can actually put out enough damage output, honestly. Grist makes a 1/1 every turn and then mills us also. Kaya's ultimate. I mean, I guess Kaya's ultimate has a chance to do some damage. There are three cards in exile. It ends up being like a Lava Axe. Could be all right. We are currently at 31 cards in deck, and they have 3 cards in hand. Karn the Great Creator. I don't think that really helps us. We're going to exile cards from... I guess they don't even have Drama Lock up anyway. Exile some cards from our graveyard. I mean, unfortunately, we're just going to mill again. And attack for 1. We can't currently cast anything. So, stuck on 2 lands. If they Field to Ruin our Overgrown Tomb, we also only have forests in our deck. Because we're a Utopia Sprawl deck. So, that'll make it even more difficult to cast things. And that is what they are going to do. So you can see, yeah, we have just some forest in play. And they have Visions of Beyond, which only draw 1 card. Okay. Another reason to attack our own graveyard with Kaya. Well, I do want to kill them with the Kaya possibly, so you're probably targeting them. They have 3 currently. We can target ourselves trying to play around Drama Lock. I mean, the good news is their hand doesn't seem very good. Like, this has been a pretty anemic hand. They've had double visions for only one card. They just put Lurrus in their hand. They have no cards in their graveyard anyway. So, like, what can they have in their hand at this point? Like, just all lands? Doesn't really make much sense. Draw land, please. No, obviously not. Nice hand, Jim. All right. I mean, each opponent loses life with a number of creature cards in your graveyard. That's not going to be ever any. So make a token. Mill an Arbor Elf. We're going to exile 2 cards in the graveyard, attack in, and I mean, the insects are piling up here, I suppose, at the cost of 1 card from our library every time. Grist can kill Lurrus. Lurrus isn't really bringing anything back at the moment, which is good, I suppose. I mean, the insects are adding up. I feel like we've only actually cast like 3 spells this game, right? What do we cast this game? Yeah, we've literally just cast the 2 Planeswalkers and the Utopia Sprawl. So that's kind of the cool thing, is that the Planeswalkers just sort of keep casting spells over and over again. So you don't need to cast a lot of spells to win a game, hopefully, but it's definitely hard to figure out what they have in their hand because nothing else makes sense at this point. Like, the things that limit them are mana, are us needing to shuffle our library for the trap, but they have all of those things. I mean, we've shuffled the library, they have plenty of mana, they have all their colors. They must be flooded, yeah. All right, so we can Grist here. We'll sacrifice one of the insects to kill Lurrus. Draw land, please. All right, that's actually not the worst, because now we can cast our spells, in theory. So play Oath of Nissa. I said play Oath of Nissa. We have blue, blue, blue open. So I'm not sure what this could be. For resolves, we find a land. We can get Liliana the Veil going and then hit this Lurrus. They're just playing actual counterspell. Okay, that's fun. So sack creature. Kill Lurrus. Exile Lurrus and counterspell, I guess. And attack for 2. And the ultimate is all teed up on Kaya, but they only have 7 cards in exile. So we need to hit a few more cards. Blue, blue, blue. Laughter again. This one's going to hit 22 cards. Oh, that was too many cards. That was too many cards. All right. Well, now we have 3 cards in our deck, and we are probably dead. If they completely brick for another turn, maybe we can win. But now we draw the Catacombs, of course. We have no cards left to fetch. All right. Yeah, I mean, ideally, I suppose we. I don't even know. They just have to have nothing in their hand. I mean, we do win the game next turn if they have nothing, because we have to Kaya them for 9. Oh, no, we don't. This puts them to. We can only Kaya for 9. We're actually still short. We need 2 turns. Oh man, this is pretty brutal. Hello, opponent. Insects are coming for you. Just gonna take the damage. We have 2 cards in our deck. Oh man. All right. I'm not even gonna plus this unless I can't afford to mill a card. So we're just gonna say go. They have to have actual nothing for the next 2 turns. They have Crypt Incursion to gain 3 life. Okay. I mean, we attack for 2, exile 2 more cards, and then we attack for 2 and ultimate Kaya. So if they do nothing for the next 2 turns, we can win. And their hand has seemed pretty bad. So all right, exile Incursion land. Attack. I mean, if we win this game, it's going to be the most improbable victory of all time. All right, there's a fatal push. That is not. That is. I don't know. We can't win anyway. We only have 1 card left. So we draw our last card, and we can nuke them for 11, 12. Yeah, the push actually won them the game. If they didn't have push there, we would have won. Or if we drew a red source. So we can attack them for 1, and then we can Kaya ultimate for 11, and we're 1 short. So and they need to not have fatal push, or we need to be able to actually cast Wrenn and Six. And we almost won this game, which is absolutely preposterous. We should have never even been in this game. So they drew really, really bad. All right, they had Drama Luck anyway. So yeah, only able to do 11 here. I think maybe I could have played the other Kaya a few turns ago and gotten +2 on the Exiles and still been able to ultimate. So maybe I could have done that instead. But I'm not sure. What are you going to do? All right, so we're going to bring in 3 copies of Thoughtseize. We're going to cut probably a Liliana of the Last Hope. I'm going to cut a Grist also because we don't really want to self-mill ourselves. And Endurance actually is awesome. Endurance allows us to shuffle our graveyard back in. Puts all the cards from the graveyard at the bottom of the library in random order. That's perfect. So bring that in. Maybe we just cut the Grist altogether. Unfortunately, again, we still just don't have any ways to win quickly, but we can try and set up Liliana, kind of like Karn, prison sort of locks. I guess Liliana of the Last Hope can return the Endurance, which is actually a pretty big game. Liliana, Wrenn and Six. We need to cut 2 cards here. I mean, Kai is very good. Liliana is mostly only good to return Endurance. Yeah, I guess we'll ship that. Liliana of the Veil can eat their hand and kill crabs. So is Karn the Great Creator even good? I guess not really, right? We're not really interested in either. You know what? Let's cut the 2 Karns. Cut 2 Karns, leave 2 Lilianas in. None of the Karn cards are particularly great, so all right. Here we go. On the play, better hand. It is better. We do have Utopia Sprawl and then Oath of Nissa. We draw land, we can Liliana on turn 2. If not, we can just Oath of Nissa. All right, we're gonna keep. Can fetch ourselves an Overgrown Tomb and put the Sprawl on it and probably name black. Archive Trap. Okay. So black on that. Losing 13 cards to start the game. Not a great place to be. What are you going to do? So next turn we draw land. We can play Liliana. If we don't draw land, we can Oath of Nissa and find a land and then do it that way. Surgical, Stargating, Endurance. Sure. So I mean, we only have 2 of those in our deck anyway. It's not that big of a deal. Could have been a lot worse if they got one of the cards in our hand. So Watery Grave, untapped. Crap. All right, we need to draw land here, folks. Any untapped land. Come on now. Just not having it today. Just not having it. I guess if you're going to draw bad, might as well do it in like your worst possible matchup. So, all right, there's our land. I'm going to play this and get... Now we have Oath to play. We should get a Forest, honestly. We actually have a... So we have a Sprawl on a Tomb. They can like possibly Field of Ruin us, but whatever. The Forest. Oath of Nissa again. Keep one of them. And Carth or Temple Garden. I think I want the land. In case they have Field of Ruin and then just like cast Karn and keep casting our spells. So alright, so let's say go here. They're gonna get a nice mill off the grab. We get to Liliana them. We might be behind the 8 ball here, so we missed that land drop. 1 creature card. Ugh. All right, so their hand here is basically perfect. Turn 0 archive trap surgical. Turn 1 crab. Turn 2 crab fetch. I think we're just dead. I mean, again, honestly, like this matchup seems basically unwinnable. We just don't apply any amount of pressure at all because we're more of a grindy like layback deck, and like this is just silly. All right, yeah, we're just dead. All right, you win, opponent. All right, yeah, we're just gonna go to the next match. All right, yeah, I mean, couldn't imagine a worse matchup, honestly. That's okay though. That's okay. Going into match number 2. Well, quick turnaround there. That's great. That never happens. On the play, match number 2. And tough hands too. Where are our 1-mana spells? So we're gonna mulligan the sand if we have no acceleration. That is better. That is definitely better. We're gonna keep this. We're gonna bin. I kind of want to keep the Oath of Nissa. Wrenn and Six Liliana is obviously great. Maybe we can just discard the Elf actually and just play Wrenn and Six on 2 and Liliana on 3 with the Oath on 1. I guess playing turn 2 Liliana is really good. Having Oath in play does make life super easy for us. Karn may or may not be good. You know what? Let's dump the Karn. Let's go turn 1 Arbor Elf, turn 2 Liliana. Turn 3 Wrenn and Six Oath of Nissa is totally fine. Then we can just find another Karn. We have 4 of them. Not even sure if Karn will be good anyway, so let's get just get an Overgrown Tomb. And play Arbor Elf. Turn 2 Liliana play is pretty good. Razor Verge Thicket. Interesting. Razor Verge Thicket. So I kind of want to play Wrenn and Six Arbor Elf here, honestly. And just hold back on Liliana for a turn. Yeah, I'm going to wait on Liliana until they maybe play a creature. Because this is Razor Verge Thicket usually implies a creature deck, so I'm going to fetch this, get Stomping Ground. Play Wrenn and Six. Get back a land. I think we're going to play Arbor Elf. And just hold the Oath for now. And we're also setting up our like Wrenn and Six plus Liliana. That's not a lock, but all right, perfect. Yeah, so this is exactly what we were hoping for. So hold Liliana, they play a creature now, we can just kill it. So that's great. Kaya. All right, so let's just start by Oathing. Maybe when we have 5 mana. Grist, Liliana of the Last Hope, Wrenn and Six. I think I like Grist here. I think I like Grist. Put back those 2. Get back land. Just fetch Forest now. We have Oath of Nissa in play. And we're going to go Liliana. Minus. Looks to be a much better matchup here. Much better matchup. And they gain 2, which is whatever. And then we just fire in its attack for 1. Next turn, we're double casting Grist, Kaya, and we have Liliana and Wrenn and Six going. So this is more what we're looking for. You know, this is more what we're looking for. We can actually interact with this. We can't interact with the card, you know, Glimpse the Unthinkable, but Skyclave. That card's pretty good. That card's pretty good. What are they gonna hit? They're the Liliana of the Veil. Sure. So Grist can kill that. We sack one of these Arbor Elves. Liliana of the Last Hope too. That's actually can also kill it. Yeah, I think we're gonna Grist Liliana now. So we play sack this. I'm gonna get. We're 12. Yeah, let's get a Forest. So we're gonna go Liliana. We're going to go minus Liliana, minus Wrenn and Six, cast Kaya, plus Kaya. Sorry, cast Grist, plus Grist. So there. Little tag team action. We get a 3/3. play Grist the Hunger Tide. Mill a card. And I would say this game is about as lopsided as the last match was. Just thankfully it's in our favor this time. Because this game has been a shellacking. Suppose they go land go with company. This could be an interesting turn for us. Obviously, we can only interact at sorcery speed, but I think we're still in pretty good shape here. Another Kaya. We are going to, I guess, just do everything. I imagine we're not going to attack either. It's pretty annoying if they just like company into the combo, which is like the gain infinite life shenanigans. Yeah, play land. Play Kaya. I think we're just not going to attack at all, honestly. Exile these two. Yeah, plus Grist. Plus Liliana. And yeah, I mean, as long as they don't company really, really well here, we can do some good things, hopefully. All of our planeswalkers are used for the turn. No attacks. Not attacking into company. Here it is. Roll that D20. Collected company. So no Spike Feeder Heliod. Although honestly, like, all right, they have Sanctifier, Invec, and Spike Feeder. Exile all cards that are black or red from all graveyards. Black or red permanent spell or card not in the battlefield, put in the graveyard, exile it instead. So that doesn't really matter. And Heliod too. All right, so they have infinite life. Now what do we do? So can our deck beat infinite life? Like infinite, yeah, infinite life. I mean, the thing is that like on Magic Online, this is not infinite, and we can just like beat them with Liliana of the Last Hope tokens. You know, like in paper they would say 14,000 trillion, and I don't think we can win. I guess anything on our Karn board that can do Possessed Portal. If player would draw a card, that player skips that draw. Yeah, we don't really have a way to like loop things. Okay. So we decide what we're gonna do here. We can. We're gonna keep. We're playing on Magic Online, so we're gonna keep playing. In paper, I would concede because they're limited to how much they can click. We can actually win, so we can just Liliana Ultimate. So we're gonna do that. So we're going to kill their stuff. I think I would like to use. We'll use Grist, I guess. So we'll sack this. Sack an insect, kill the Spike Feeder. Kaya killed the Arbor Elf, plus Wrenn and Six for a land. Play Karn the Grey Creator. We would need to find. I don't think there's any way to stop ourselves from decking. If we had a way to stop ourselves from decking, then we could just deck them. But we have less cards than them. So even though we can take total control of the game with Karn and Liquimetal Coating, kill all their lands, and have them with no permanents in play, we can't stop ourselves from decking. Cards. Sacrifice that. Kill this. And we'll pause and fast forward through all this. Oh no, so I die. Sure. Okay, so yeah, and then we're gonna plus here. Most important thing is just to keep Liliana alive. Plus here. Play lands. I mean, like we can't actually lose the game. Do that. Exile 2 cards. Play Karn. Karn minus. Get ourselves. I'll be just coding. Coding, say go. I mean, target that, F6. That means they can't activate the Temple Garden for the turn, and then next turn we can start killing all their lands. So like, yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird game. 2 counters on Sanctifier and back. I guess it's a little annoying to actually be able to like kill that, but they're not going to do that anyway. So, while we have Liliana the Veil, sure, let's play this. Kill that. Target their graveyard. Get a land back. I guess we'll Grist. Sacrifice an insect. Kill the mentor. Gain life. Counters on the thing. Play Liliana. Edict you. Yeah, so this is a game that like is, you know, I don't know why people play these decks on Magic Online, because in paper there you can loot this and name 40 bajillion life. And unfortunately, if we had literally any one card that could either prevent us from drawing or shuffle our library back in, we could easily win the game. But we would just deck first and can't stop it. But because they can't choose an actual number, we obviously were crushing them the entire game. They kind of got lucky and hit into their combo, but they can't actually win. So we can just sit here, Ultimate Liliana's exponential, just make a bajillion zombies. And if we had some way to stop us from decking, we win the game easily. I think it's like funny is if we brought in 1 copy of Endurance, honestly, which I think we're going to do, then we can win. Despite the infinite life, because we can just lock them out of the game. Because we're pretty good at locking them out of the game, honestly. You know, we just kill all of our stuff basically. So we're gonna bring in the Thoughtseizes and an Endurance, and we're gonna shave something. What are we gonna shave here? We could shave a Karn, honestly. Maybe a Karn and a Carth. Liliana and Kaya both seem pretty good. I guess Kaya's not amazing. They have some ones, but a lot of their ones just die to Wrenn and Six or Liliana anyway. Honestly, all of our cards are pretty good against them. I'm gonna shave a second Karn. I just feel like we can like establish the board dominance without Karn. And then it's funny, I haven't actually asked Carth yet. And Liliana, Wrenn and Six, Liliana. Maybe we can shave a Grist. Grist is pretty good though. Oath of Nissa, Arbor Elf Sprawl. Push seems pretty important. Alright, we're gonna shave. Actually, let's shave a Carth. I don't think the card advantage matters that much. It's kind of just like set up our stuff, don't lose to their combo, and then, you know, we'll find a way to win later. As long as we establish that sort of like a dominating board presence like we had last game, we should be in pretty good shape. Yeah, like 1 Elixir Immortality in the sideboard would do it. Which might not be a bad card to have in the sideboard anyway. All right, this hand's not great. We have Oath, we have Push. I'm going to keep. Not great. We can just draw a mana creature also, which would be kind of cool, but tap Temple Garden. All right, cool. Verdant Catacombs. All right, so we're just going to play... yeah, we'll just play Oath here. So we'll play Forest. And Oath. Oath will hit Stomping Ground or Karn. Well, I guess we're Karning, so we don't need another land. So we have push next turn into Kaya, which honestly isn't like the best start, but hello, opponent. Two mana for a Walking Ballista. Just gonna jam Ballista onto. Sure. Endurance. Okay. Draw one copy of Endurance, which is our way to win the game after they go infinite. So obviously they can go infinite on Ballista too, which will actually kill us, but the life gain combo we can beat with the Endurance. I guess we're just gonna fetch. I don't want to kill the Ballista because we can kill Ballista with Kaya. So we're just gonna play a land say go here and leave a push. They play a 3-drop, we'll push it. They play Heliod, we'll push the Ballista. I don't think we need to do that, but we can just get Temple Garden here, get Kaya, kill the Ballista. All right, this should do nothing. Sure. So let's I mean, imagine we get Mana Tithe here. That'd be awesome. That'd be freaking awesome. Oh, they're gonna like even Mind Sensor me here or something like that, are they? Because that would be ridiculous. It doesn't actually matter, right? As long as we find a land in our top 4, we have the Oath of Nissa to cast everything. All right, so Temple Garden. Really need to get Temple Garden, but they do have Skyclave. They could Skyclave my Oath of Nissa in theory. So, all right, I mean, play Kaya. Tap right, but whatever. Exile Walking Ballista. And they can shoot the Kaya to 1, which is totally fine. Not sure what exactly they're going to do here with 3 mana and instant speed. Next turn we have Karn, or we can leave a Fatal Push. Karn. Let me see that Karn. What is this hand? So Razor Verge Thicket, tapped. Tap a Plains. So 3 white for Ranger Captain of Eos. That's pretty good. So it searches for a creature mana costs 1 or less. Sorry, mana value 1 or less. They'll get themselves... They fail to find. I have no idea what's going on, folks. They clearly have things that cost 1 in their deck. So I maybe misclicked. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Our opponent's a bot, and the computer broke. I don't even know what's happening. All right, so I guess, and we draw Grist the Hunger Tide. It's pretty good, honestly. Are they gonna fog us here? It's be fine if they did, honestly. So play land. We're gonna play Grist and push the Ranger Captain of Eos. Exile their graveyard. And I guess we're going to push it like now. I don't know exactly why we do it now or later, but and now we can start. Actually, I guess we could save the push. I'll just kill it. Like, it could save push for if they were to company into the combo. We could push it and break it up. But I don't think we care about the combo. They can gain infinite life if they want to. We don't really care. We'll just win the game anyway. You know, and now we actually have the endurance, so even if they had infinite life, we could still win. So they're going to play Heliod, sure. Heliod's a little awkward to remove. It's a little not, we can't remove that one super easily, but a Nurturing Peatland. And so we're going to exile that. We are going to make a token. We are going to play a Karn. And get ourselves probably a Coating, although it is really awkward if they have a Skyclave to kill the Karn. What else could we get? We could get a Pithing Needle and name Heliod, which would turn off both their combos. That's not bad. Wait, no, it wouldn't. I'm sorry. We need to name Spike Feeder to stop Infinite Life, and we would need to name Heliod to stop the Walking Ballista combo, which they could have next turn. They could go Walking Ballista on 2, Heliod kill us. So maybe we should get Pithing Needle here and name probably Walking Ballista, because we don't really care about things gaining life, but Ballista can kill our stuff. So let's get Needle. Let's play land. Name Walking Ballista. And all our Planeswalkers are good. Can attack for 1. So now they can't Ballista combo us, which would make sense because like their hand seems pretty bad, but they kept it. So they just went land, Ballista combo, kill us next turn. That would be a reasonable thing that could happen. So we stop that. And they are passing the turn. White, 1 for Skyclave. Let's see what Skyclave hits here. Hits the Karn. Okay. So that's fine. I mean, now we can get a 4/4. They shock in. Green, and a Spike Feeder. Sure, this is fine. So we can easily win the game through Infinite Life, even if they actually had Infinite Life this game, so we have Endurance. So, untap. Liliana of the Veil. That's pretty good. And so we get to Liliana. And edict them. Then we'll grist them for one of our tokens. We get a 4/4. Maybe I should let the third Karn in, because we do kind of need Karn to like lock them out actually, to keep them from winning, by like killing all their lands and stuff. So maybe I should let some more Karns in. Maybe Kaya like could have shaved down. All right, and then we're going to sacrifice a creature. Sacrifice this. Target the Spike Feeder. They'll gain a bunch of life in response. If you're unfamiliar with the combo, it's very simple. This says whenever you gain life, put a counter on something. This says remove a counter to gain 2 life. So ad nauseum. Yeah, a little fast forward there. They decided to go to 107 life. That was their that was the number they were comfortable with. So exile those. Play Peatland. And we're still not like there as far as locking them out. But they only have 1 card left, so we'll do that. And then maybe we actually should crack this Peatland, now that I think about it. Try and draw an Oath of Nissa or a 1-drop. Okay, sure. Also a clock too. Like, I mean, they you know, not really a fan of this combo existing in Modern and being so easy to pull off. I don't think it's like inherently broken or anything, but I do think that it is pretty obnoxious and creates a lot of like really, really annoying game states. So I'm gonna play Walking Ballista, sure. We can just minus the Ballista with our Kaya. See what they're gonna shoot here. We'll try and plus Liliana first if they let us. See if they shoot Lily or not. Oh, I can't. Never mind. There's a Ballista in play. So there's a Needle in play. So we're going to plus discard probably just the fetch land, I guess. Discard that. And then we're going to plus Grist. Suppose we'll minus our Kaya, play tap land. And I mean, they have nothing. They have literally nothing. They have no cards in hand. Like, I think that I made a mistake cutting the Karns. I probably should have just kept them in play because locking them out is part of our way to win. They draw a Sanctum Prelate, which doesn't actually do anything. So we have Kaya and Grist and Liliana. So that's a smart. They're also recognizing that Karns are a way to lock them out by choosing 4. It's not going to live, but like it's a proper thing to choose. Blue. Why are we stopping in my draw step? There's nothing here for you. So kill that. Plus Liliana. Plus Kaya. Wouldn't mind drawing a Wrenn and Six also, honestly, to help out. It'd be funny if we should actively just deal them 100 damage, but again, even if they have an infinite life, we can still win this game easily with endurance, so. They draw land. We draw forest. Try to dump the Kaya, I guess. So we're not going to exile anything out of our graveyard. So we want to keep it for our endurance. Plus that. Plus this. Plus Liliana. Discard a land. I might discard a land, whatever. All right, and just keep the ball rolling here. Eventually, we will find Karn and lock them out of the game. So it's very hard for them to play a creature and have it not die. So we have 3 ways to kill creatures. So they draw Ranger Captain, which is pretty cool, I guess. And they fail to find again. I don't understand what they're doing. Why do they keep failing to find? All right, so untap, and we draw Fatal Push. Sure. I mean, I guess we're just gonna Edict them. Plus Kaya, plus Grist, and attack. It's gonna be hilarious when we just deal 100 damage to them before we find the Karn. We also have a Liliana Ultimate to work towards also, which can kill like half their lands. You know, we can make this pile like Heliod, Township, Plains versus 5 lands. Maybe we can do 4. I don't know. Whatever. But well, we're eventually gonna win this game. I think they need to like run some pretty sick companies in a row. Keep the card in hand. We're going to activate Liliana and see if they nope, they just let it resolve. Sure. Discard a Heliod, plus Grist, plus Kaya. Keep the land in our hand for Liliana next turn, I guess. All right, you're up. I guess it's a fetch land for Fatal Push, but green. Spike Feeder, sure. So now they can gain more life, which is fine. We just kill it with Grist. They can gain more life if they want to against once. Well, that's pretty cool. So we drew our card, Carth the Lion. This is our namesake card we haven't even drawn yet. And Leon, there's our Karn. Excellent. So now we draw Karn. We're going to Grist. Sacrifice this. Target this. And they're just going to concede. So eventually, so if you're curious how this game was going to play out, right? So basically, in paper, they would have gained infinite life with the Spike Feeder. Now, there is no infinite Magic, but you have to choose an arbitrary number. And the number they would choose would just be 14 trillion, or they would choose the number of atoms in the universe or whatever, some absurdly high number. So on Magic Online, they can't do that because there's no way to do a macro. So they have to manually click. So they can only gain like 100 or 200 life. I guess a lot of decks that's enough to win, but it's not always enough to win. And then even if they had infinite life, we would win this game by playing Karn, getting ourselves the Liquimetal Coating, killing all their lands, which this is going to take a while, kill all their lands, get them down to no permanence. The only permanent they would have is Heliod because we can't kill that one. Once they have no permanence in play and can never play another permanence, Kaya and Liliana would kill their whatever creatures they play. Then eventually we just cast Endurance and put all the cards back into our deck, and then they deck first. They would stop decking. So because decking doesn't care about life. So that's how the game would have ended if we had played in paper where they actually gained infinite. We could not have won game 1 if they had gained infinite life because we don't have some card like what's it called? Elixir Immortality or some way to not deck in game 1, even though we had total control of the game. But we would have won that game and then probably game 3. Because as long as we have 1 Endurance in our deck, we can just wait, draw the Endurance. They can never remove it from our hand. Eventually, we'll be able to cast it, put our cards back, and go from there. So on match number 3, we are 1-1. We got destroyed by Mill, and we did a pretty good job beating that life deck. We see another Lurrus here, and our hand's pretty good. We have a push into Wrenn. We have a Carth also. Carth the Lion. All right, so we're going to play our Heath first, because that'll allow us to push, untap, play Wrenn and Six, get our land, which is obviously a very, very powerful opening, because Wrenn and Six is just an absolutely busted Magic card. They play Scalding Tarn and Sago, so go get Overgrown Tomb, untap, Stomping Ground. No, yes, no. Don't force me, I suppose. Don't spell pierce me. Don't spell snare me. We get spell snared here? No, we're not. No, we're not. Wow. Spell snare in the year 2021. Who would have thought? That was devastating. I mean, I love me a good spell snare, but spell snare is not a card I've seen play a lot recently. But yeah, I mean, the card's awesome. It's a real good way for blue decks to catch back up on the draw. See, I like cards like this. This is a card that's good on the draw. A lot of cards in the new Magic set that are really good on the play. They're creatures that snowball well. But I like cards that are good on the draw. They even out Magic really, really well. So unfortunately, our hand's really clunky here. If they're playing counterspells, we're in big trouble. Resolving the early Planeswalker against a counterspell deck is usually how you win. But unfortunately, they had the perfect answer for our 2-drop, and we didn't do our 3-drop counterspell players. So I guess they're playing Lurrus. So like, is this like fairies or rogues or something like that? Like what's the Lurrus spell snare deck? I mean, yeah, I imagine our next few spells are not going to resolve. We're going to start on Karn. I think Carth is the card we need to resolve. So let's play the ones that are a little bit worse first. Yeah, Sorcerer Speed 4-drops against the counterspell deck is probably not ideal, but usually we have, oh, no, that resolved. Okay, so we're going to minus, and we're going to look for value here. We're not going to assume that our Karn is going to be in play next turn. So honestly, our options aren't great. It might just be Chalice the Void, because we have a number of 1s in our deck too. Let's be Ballista. I feel like there isn't a good value choice. Even our Relic of Progenitus would be pretty solid. Relic's obviously a reasonable graveyard hate card, and then also just a way to draw a card off your Karn for value. I guess we have a second Karn. I guess we'll go for the Coating. I don't really like it that much. I feel like Karn's not going to survive till next turn, but if we get Ballista, it's really clunky. Everything else is pretty narrow. Portal's pretty fun. All right, we'll get Coating. Let's see, go. Wouldn't be surprised if they flash in a creature here and then attack it. Because it can't be Brazen Bar or Vendilion Clay because they have Lurrus. Snapcaster Mage. Just playing Snapcaster Mage. All right, sure. I mean, Now I'll draw a land next turn, so I can play a 4-drop and push the Snapcaster Mage. So Karn goes to 1. That's fine. And they don't play a land either. And we draw a Wrenn and Six. Cool. I mean, they basically have to counter the Coating, right? Because they're mana screwed. So we're just gonna cast the Coating and then push the Snapcaster Mage. Oh, if they have Snapcaster for Spell Snare, that's devastating. Oh god. Drown the Lock. Perfect. All right, so now we're gonna Fatal Push this Snapcaster Mage and plus Karn. We could go for Wrenn and Six to kill the Snapcaster, but they clearly have 5 spells in their hand. And if they have another Spell Snare or Force Negation, we probably lose the game. So we'll just take the sure thing here. In fact, I guess Force Negation still stops Fatal Push, but Wren's also a much better card, so... Push ya? Cool. Plus Karn. Now, of course, the Coating is gone forever, so our Karn is a little less useful, but there's no Boat in the board either. I actually like Boat a lot. The Sky Sovereign plays very well with Karn as a threat. Black for Dothy Voidwalker. Sure. Actually have an answer for that at the moment, but sure. Another Carth the Lion. Unfortunately, the Voidwalker is unblockable. It's going to kill our Karn, but I guess Karn's not even useful right now anyway, so... Actually, we can play this thing. So play this. They can't counter us in any way. There's no card that counters us, I believe. I guess Subtlety does, but they can't play that because of lures. So yeah, I think there's no way they can stop this from resolving. So this resolves. Get a Planeswalker. It's going to be Kaya or Liliana. Neither of those is particularly great at the moment. I guess Kaya exiling the graveyard is kind of good. Liliana can also shrink the Voidwalker. We can't currently cast either one of these though, which is actually super awkward. Let's get Liliana. So Liliana can tag team with Wrenn and Six to kill the... And we can actually minus here. We could minus Karn. Karn would go to 1. Then they would just be able to attack it. But we could plus Karn here, and then... We could plus Karn, and then they can attack it next turn, but it's still alive. Honestly, if it dies, we just trigger Carth again, which is pretty cool, too. You just get Ballista. Let's minus it. Let's minus it. It goes to 1. So Carth being really, really good here. Giving us extra loyalty. Let's go get Walking Ballista. Yeah, I love a Relic, honestly. I'd love if we had access to a Relic. So they can attack and kill Karn, which is fine. That'll trigger Carth again. See if they have a way to kill the Carth. If we draw a black source, we can Wrenn and Six and Liliana to kill Voidwalker. If we don't, we just cast Ballista. You know, again, we're grinding very well on cards here. I also love to resolve this Wrenn and Six. I guess Wrenn and Six can get back a land to cast Liliana also. This card's nice. This card's nice. Good news is that opponents stealing our cards of Voidwalker are not super good. They're going to unearth their Snapcaster Mage. And they're going to drown the lock our Carth. It's interesting. It's like fine. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's Carth again next turn. So options here are to Carth again next turn or just play Ballista and kill the Voidwalker. We drew a land. I mean, now we can Wrenn and Six Liliana to kill the Voidwalker, although then it would die to Snapcaster Mage, so we can also Carth here, which I don't particularly love. I think I want to kill the Voidwalker because it does pressure the Planeswalkers reasonably well. Yeah. Liliana plus. I guess Liliana plus Wrenn plus does also does a pretty good job of this can target. Yeah, I think I actually kind of like that. So we Wrenn plus goes to 4. Then we Liliana plus it goes to 4. Then Voidwalker can't kill either one of them. And we get to get both Planeswalkers in play and then activate them again next turn too. So I actually kind of like that. Assuming no Force Negation, which would suck, but if they have Force Negation, we can still cast one or the other. All right, that's pretty cool. So return Heath. Heath, go get another black-green land. Liliana Blast Hope. Kill that. And now Voidwalker has a lot of work to do. A lot of burden on Voidwalker's shoulders here because it can't kill either Planeswalker. It needs to pressure one of them. And the one it doesn't pressure will keep going up. We have Carth next turn. We can Ballista on 6, and there's 6 mana Ballista next turn, maybe. We can't really double spell next turn, aside from next week. I guess we can Ballista on 1, which is kind of cool, too. And then Ballista on 1 could tag team with Wrenn or Liliana to kill the Voidwalker. They're going to get a second Swamp. Wow, what is this? Torok. Torok hits a land and one of our Carths. Sure. That could be worse. I mean, that's not great, but fine. This is a weird deck. Attack Liliana, sure. Let's untap. Of course, Voidwalker makes the Wrenn and Six a little worse. That's fine. Now we can just like Ballista. So we play Ballista. We ping Voidwalker, shrink Torok. Yeah, so 1 damage here, 1 damage here, plus here. And Torok can take a shot at the Planeswalkers here, but I can always just block with Ballista if I feel like I need to. Torok's also only a 2/2, so we can't even kill the Wrenn and Six. They still have 5 cards in hand. We have some honky-chonky cards in our hand, too. I would love to have a fetch land here, honestly. It kind of sucks that our fetch lands got hit by the Voidwalker, but 1 black. This is Unearth again? What a weird deck. Looked like it was going to be like a counterspell-y deck, but now it looks more like a Jund deck playing Snapcaster Mage. A lot more tap-out, heavy black cards. Bloodchief's Thirst, the Wrenn and Six. That is pretty fortunate. That's pretty fortunate. That is a good turn for them. So we're gonna block here. I'd rather have Liliana and play with a Ballista on 1, so there's no way in hell I'm gonna pump Ballista next turn. It's not how I'm gonna use my mana, so. Alright, so still 4 cards in hand for them. Main deck Bloodchief's Thirst, interesting. Certainly an interesting brew. Oh, the sun came out and my green screen's ruined. Usually I have my window closed, but your landscapers are here doing work. Just keeping an eye on them. Another Voidwalker. Okay, sure. Should get some more removal spells, you know? Like drawing a Fatal Push would be ideal. Or an Arbor Elf. Okay. I mean, Arbor Elf can block Torok, which is kind of cool. So we can like Carth here. Just draw another. We get to draw another Planeswalker, and a Grist is pretty sweet. Let's draw a Grist. It gets a plus on the Voidwalker because we can block the other creature. Play Arbor Elf. Now I have Grist available too. And honestly, if Liliana dies, we just get another trigger on Carth anyway. So we're grinding pretty well here. They are like hitting all of our spots for the most part. They've just hit like 3 or 4 lands, all spells. You know, they had Spell Snare on turn 2, and I feel like we're just still doing pretty well despite them hitting all of our spots. They kick Torok, you know, done a lot of stuff. So Voidwalker is currently a 1/1. We can Grist to sacrifice the Arbor Elf to kill the Torok or the Voidwalker. Not really sure what we want to do yet. It's funny, we like almost don't mind Liliana dying because it'll trigger. I guess actually, hold on. I guess it would be exiled. Would it still die? Still do a die trigger? I don't think it would actually. If one of we couldn't read it, still I don't know honestly. This attacks Liliana. So Liliana would die here. Is that okay? But I'd rather keep the Arbor Elf in play. And if I draw a land, I can Grist and Carth. If I draw a spell, I probably cast it. I think Liliana dying here is fine. I don't think Liliana is actually helping us that much. Although I don't know if it'll trigger or not. I'm actually not sure how the rules work here. Because dies means goes to the graveyard, I believe. I think this Carth will not trigger if Liliana dies here. The question is like, is Liliana doing anything good here anyway? Kind of thing, you know. Would I rather have Arbor Elf to sack to Grist? I think I would. So we're gonna let this die. Actually, I could block with the Carth. I didn't even consider. Why didn't I consider that? I don't know why I didn't consider that. I'm sure they had a plan for it because obviously they attacked like that. So yeah, it didn't. It exiled, so it didn't trigger. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure why I didn't block here, but I'm sure they planned for that in some way. I don't know. They had like an instance way to make me discard, or not really sure what the plan was. Attacking their 4/3 into my 3/5, but I assume they had a plan. I guess now they can cast my Liliana, which would kill my. Oh, they could use the. Doesn't make sense either. I don't know, honestly. So they can kill my Arbor Elf, I guess, which is fine. Yeah, Fatal Push too. Man, they should have it all. They actually just have it all. Didn't put the Lurrus in it. They probably have Cryptic Command too. What a sicko. What a sicko. All right. We get like Karn for Tormod's Crypt because like right now their graveyard is pretty stocked for Liliana and Lurrus, and they're running out of cards. And they just like probably have Cryptic Command too. We'll just cast Karn, and like if they counter it, whatever. Counterspell, sure, it's fun. Mishra's Bauble, Yeah, I mean, a little easier if we cast Archaea here. We get it for 4. They're gonna mill 2. Funny, Liliana's pretty good in their deck. It's funny they can't play Liliana normally, but it is pretty good in their deck. It's pretty annoying. Cling to Dust, Sunken Ruins. This is quite the deck here. Oath of Nissa. Oath of Nissa is pretty sweet. So I can actually cast Kaya too. Wrenn and Six, Arbor Elf, Liliana of the Veil. I mean, Liliana of the Veil is the ideal card here, but obviously if they have a counterspell, it's terrible, but I think we just need to go for it at this point, so sure. Wrenn and Six would be nice too, but all right. Big spell here. They have a snap or a counterspell, obviously. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean they kind of just browned us, I guess. I mean their deck fired on all cylinders the entire game. Definitely a little tired of his Mishra's Bauble Lurrus decks, I'm not gonna lie. Like the fact that like the control deck now is playing Lurrus and Mishra's Bauble, and the aggro decks and the mill decks and the prowess decks and the boggle decks, and like it just, you know, yeah, we're just dead here. All right, so we're going to bring in our Thoughtseizes, and would say Kaya doesn't seem particularly good against them. Exile in the graveyard's kind of nice, but everything else is pretty worthless. And then just shave one more card. Karn seems only fine against them. Again, I wish there was a relic in the board, honestly. A relic and maybe a boat. So Fatal Push. Fatal Push is like not amazing. Ship Push. Obviously, Liliana, Grist, Wrenn and Six, all kill creatures. We have Thoughtseizes too, and like they probably have like 1 or 2 Torok. They have probably 4 Voidwalkers and some Snaps, but not like a ton of creatures. So I think we're fully capable of like grinding with them. It just like our hand that game was pretty slow. They had the Spell Snare exactly for the Wrenn and Six. We didn't have a 3-drop. So I think that like we definitely have game in that game. We like if our Planeswalkers get in play, they're just gonna grind them into oblivion. But we just were like kind of missed a turn 3 play. They had the good answer for our turn 2 play. Didn't have any acceleration or anything. So I think we'll be all right. It'll be all right. Long game though. Long game 1. Game 2. Yeah, like this hand's pretty great. If we can keep this. Suppose mana's a little awkward, but we're gonna Arbor Elf. We'll see how Wrenn and Six plays out. I do want to resolve Wrenn and Six pretty bad, but if they go like Island Go here or whatever, we'll probably just play Grist and play around to. They misclicked an F6 their turn, so they move straight to discard. So I guess we get a free ride here. Thoughtseize too. Yeah, I mean, all right. Let's I guess we can't get black and green. If they have Force Negation, this is still pretty bad for us. Maybe we just play Grist. This is actually pretty funny. Like, what do we do here? I think we should get a black. Like, we get a red, we get Wrenn and Six. They have Force Negation though. We actually may never cast another spell. Maybe 1 Blood Crypt is nice, you know. All right, we're gonna Overgrown Tomb, and we're going to Grist instead of Thoughtseize. All right, resolves instantly anyway. So mill Liliana, say go. Yeah, Matt's a little awkward. 5 Farce is a lot. All right, there's our island. Be funny if they still spell snare our Wrenn and Six, you know. I mean, we never draw a source, we can Thoughtseize them first, but we also just have Carth too if you draw land, so. Bobble, draw. Arbor Elf, sure. So we'll Thoughtseize them. Their hand is Gust, Voidwalker, Fatal Push. Their hand is terrible. That's the companion, that's their hand. So we're gonna play Arbor Elf. We're gonna Grist. We're gonna leave up our Fatal Push. So they can't even cast Voidwalker on turn 2. So sure, attack. Hopefully game 3 is a little more interesting. Not them missing their draw. Play the Catacombs. We're casting Carth next turn. They could have drawn actual counterspell, I suppose, but I don't think I really care about that. Overgrown Tomb, sure. They got it. They got it. Wow, that's unreal. All right, so the top of the card they drew off Bobble was a counterspell, sure. I guess it was also off their turn, but whatever. So mill a card, do the thing, attack for a bunch. So like we're in amazing shape here. They play another island. Nice Voidwalkers. Tap 3. Put Lurrus in hand. Sure. Okay. So we're going to cast Karn. And we'll just get Coating, I guess. We can kill the Lurrus next turn also, so... Yeah, I mean... Obviously, they missed their first... I think we would have won the game anyway, honestly. After I saw their hand. Their hand wasn't very good. So, I think we would have resolved our Planeswalkers anyway and probably still won the game regardless. But them skipping their entire first turn is pretty rough for them, for sure. Anything change here on the draw? I don't think so. Exiling Baubles with the Kaya is also kind of cool, but I just don't think it affects the board enough. It's basically just like exile cards from the graveyard. That's all it does, which is not good enough, I don't think. So, all right. So game 3 begins with an okay hand, and not a particularly great opponent. Mulligans. We're gonna keep. I'm not thrilled, but Oath is good. 2 Planeswalkers, kill spell for an early Voidwalker or whatever. Oath will hopefully find us either a Wrenn and Six or a 4-drop Planeswalker or just something useful. You get discard spell? Okay, sure. Another reason to not mulligan is because discard spells. So we are in the anti-mulligan mulligan club. So I guess that means we should mulligan though, right? But whatever. We're in the anti-mulligan club, period. I mean, I could definitely see taking Oath of Nissa here, honestly. Oath also makes it really easy to cast our Planeswalkers. Though once the Kayas are out of the deck, now we're just straight Jund. So I take the Grist. Taking the Grist. Draw Forest. Not a good draw, but Oath of Nissa. Show them what you got. Reveals Karn, Grist, Arbor Elf. I think we're happy Gristing here, honestly. It does suck in the 2-drop, but they took Grist for a reason, so let's just put it back in our hand, you know? Liliana should also be very good against them. I'm actually a little surprised they didn't take that, but... Yeah, I think 1 Blood Crypt should be in this deck also. If I had to fetch black here for Liliana, and I can't get red either. Thoughtseize, okay. This is weird, so they just like didn't have all this stuff in game like 1 and 2, it looked like. It seemed like they were more counterspell based, but they're definitely like almost just playing Jund. As far as like discard spells and threats, and they're just playing blue for like Spell Snare, Snapcaster Mage, I guess. I guess they have Oath of Nissa in place, so the colors don't matter, but all right, I play Heath, so they go. Double Liliana is pretty good too. And they miss a land drop. Okay, sure. I might actually just not play anything now. Not necessarily a reason to play into a counterspell here. We can just chill. Yeah, there's also... So, I definitely like this deck, but I think that the deck build itself feels a little bit off to me. Too many forests. Needs a Blood Crypt. Change the Wish Board a little bit for sure. I'll discuss that at the end, as I usually do. But... So they don't know about these cards on the right. There are 5 cards in hand. I mean... Our only red cards, Wrenn and Six. I'm gonna Overgrown Tomb here. So we drop Thoughtseize, we can cast spells. Yeah, I'm just like not casting a spell here. They just are gonna keep drawing cards, just discard a hand size eventually, and like eventually we'll be able to play 2 spells in 1 turn, or draw Thoughtseize, or do something else. So all right, they drew a land. So now we're a little more pressure on us to actually cast a spell, but we'll see. Draw Utopia Sprawl? Sure. Sprawl name, just black's fine. Play land. And say go. Now we can double spell next turn for Liliana. Might even Karn Liliana, honestly. We'll see what they do. Now they have 6 cards in hand. Again, I'm in no rush to really do anything. They're applying 0 pressure at all. Carth. So 6 mana available. I would love to resolve Carth. That's the really big one. I'm just gonna say go. I'm just not going to cast the card to their counterspell. There's no reason to do anything yet. Bloodstained Mire. Okay. Fetch Watergrave. Untapped. Play a Woodwalker, so we just snap kill it. They clearly have Counterspell. Like, all day, every day have Counterspell. Alright, untap. I'd like to draw a land here, so I can double. I can Liliana, then Carth. Alright, Rejuve lands. So let's go Liliana. Counterspell. And now I resolve Carth, and they can't even force negation it. Whew, that was close. We almost missed there. That was scary. All right, so now we have Wrenn and Six available. We got 3 boomers in our hand, a boomer in play. Not the easiest card for them to kill. They can obviously fetch land, fatal push it, which I guess they'll probably do now because they drew a land, but crack the fetch, go to 12. I guess if we have Torok here, it's kind of annoying. We do have 3 big hits though, so fatal push, sure. So not ideal, but it's fine. It's 2 for 1. We have the mana advantage, and then we have we're equal on cards at the moment. Put Lurrus in hand, sure. They can return Voidwalker, not much else. Another Carth, wow. Okay. I would very much like. It's funny, I don't really want to plus Liliana because our hand is so good, obviously. We could Karn and get like Tormod's Crypt, something like that, and kill their graveyard. So, but they can't play Woodwalker also. But I think we're just gonna Carth. The thing is, they also have Spell Snare for Wrenn and Six, which would be pretty freaking annoying. I just don't want to cast Liliana though. I guess we could cast Liliana and just leave it in play and not activate it, which is also reasonable. Let's start by casting Carth. Another Liliana or another Karn. All right, let's take Karn. I think we'll discard Karn to Liliana. So we can have Liliana left for 5 loyalty, which is pretty good. So we get a card out of their hand too. He goes to 5, so now there's 2 edicts available, which is pretty good. You discard a fatal push. Interesting. So now they have Lurrus card in hand. Probably have no fetch to kill Carth, but the edict would kill it, so we'll see. Obviously, the cool thing about Carth is like if they kill Carth, which I kind of have to, we still just got a card off it, just a 2 for 1. So next turn can be like Karn, Wrenn and Six, Liliana plus. We can minus Liliana. We can Karn for stuff like Ballista. Nothing. All right. I mean, see what we draw here, but untap, draw. That card's really good too. Okay. I mean, let's just start by attacking. Okay. Like, are they playing Cryptic Command in this deck? Like, I feel like they kind of could be, but they just have so many black sources that I don't think they even are. Again, I don't really want to plus Liliana because our hand's so good. And I'm a little weary of Spell Snare on Wrenn and Six. We could just cast Karn and Liliana, I guess. Let's start by casting Karn. Liliana can minus and return a Carth too, which is freaking awesome. It's drawing the lock very fast, which is great. I mean, now we're just in jamming mode, so play Liliana. Cool. We're gonna minus, return a Carth. Only costs -1. His Carth's in play, obviously. We can't return Grist, which is kind of cool, but we'll return Carth for value, I think. Maybe this Grist, actually. Nah, Carth's insane. Like, just like keep grinding, you know. If they kill my Carth, then I have another one. If they don't kill it, we're still winning. So I do like that Liliana is one of the few planeswalkers where it's correct often to not use it at all. I think that's a really, really cool, really cool gameplay element. Doug Rob. In the tank. Has Lurrus in hand and 3 unknown cards, 2 of which are definitely not lands. They didn't play a land last turn. Tapping 4. If this is a Himbatorok here, that could be kind of annoying, but our board's just insane. So, like, I don't even know if it's that bad for us. They're going to Blood Chief's Thirst. Oh, whiff? That's brutal. All right, they're going to Blood Chief's Thirst to Liliana, which kind of stinks, honestly, but untap. We draw. That's funny. I was going to return a Grist with the Liliana. So we're going to Wrenn and Six, Grist here. Stack for 3. Yeah, it's all fine. They got Spell Snare. Playing around like all game. No, okay. Return a land. Play the Grist. Plus, I mean, plus this on nothing. Let's play Catacombs, I think. I think we're in pretty good shape here, honestly. Like, 3 active planeswalkers. They're also at 6, so they're just dying. And we don't have Liliana to kill anything anymore, but now we just have Grist to kill things, so they can go like Lurrus, Voidwalker, but I mean, whatever. You know, like, and then the Liliana Wrenn and Six tag team can kill the Voidwalker or the Lurrus. So 1 blue, 2 black. Lurrus, sure. I think our opponent is entering desperation mode here. Yeah. The Lurrus Voidwalker turn is not a very exciting turn for them. I think this is the end for them, folks. Another Wrenn and Six, sure. So we're going to plus, minus. And again, all of these are awesome because we're minusing and just getting, we're not getting loyalty, but like we're not losing much loyalty either. So, and attack. And I think that's going to do it, folks. I think we're going to wrap things up here. Long, grindy match. Cool deck from our opponent, honestly. It's a pretty cool deck, but doesn't appear to be enough unless they have some sort of way to wipe all of our planeswalkers, which would be incredible. Torok, I mean, sure. Obviously, our hand is 2 redundant planeswalkers, so. At the moment, I suppose we can't kill the Torok, but it's not the end of the world. Okay. Yeah. We can we can actually kill a Torok and kill them. So we're gonna make it a creature. We're gonna return another Grist. I can emblem the Liliana too. Wait, what? Oh, it's -6, right? Yeah, we're not gonna do that though. We're just gonna try and kill him this turn, I think. Return Grist. Play new Grist. Keep new Grist. Trigger Carth. Get Liliana out of the Veil. I guess I didn't use that creature anymore, but whatever. It's fine. Game's just over, so sack this, kill this. Attack for 3. And oh yeah, still had all these planeswalkers too. That was an impressive showing for this deck, honestly. There's no way they have a kill spell and didn't have it before. Wow, okay, sure. Alright, so that's fine. Get back a land. Play land. Play new Carth. Get a Karn. Crack the fetch. Just get a land or whatever. Just get F6. Alright. Your turn, opponent. You've bested me. You've bested my ability to try and kill you that turn. If only. Well, it'd be so horrible to play another turn of Magic. You know, it'd be so horrible. Tapping 4. They're gonna hit me again. Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay. I mean, you can start just pecking them with Wrenn and Six too, so. Oath of Nissa. I mean, this is just a comedy at this point. Turn a land. Plus this. Play Karn. We're gonna get the whole squad in play. No? Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole squad's here. I don't really know the words, but I hope that's it. I guess I get a Liliana first. Whatever, it doesn't freaking matter. Plus Liliana. Fetch a land. Say go. Almost the whole crew. Not the whole crew yet, though, unfortunately. They have no cards in hand. They're 3 life. We can start randoming them, too. Utopia Sprawl. All right. I mean, plus. Hit this. Whatever. Plus Liliana. And they're really going to play this to the bitter end, aren't they? All right. We have 19 cards in our deck. I mean, there's no reason to ultimate this, so we'll just start nugging them. Nug, yeah. And I guess we'll all just whatever. I'll do this. Get back card. I screw it. It doesn't freaking matter. It's just like we're in like total garbage time right now. Just like, yeah, my sequencing here is not perfect. Whatever. Get a Liliana, sure. It's your turn. Like. They just have no cards in every turn, and they're just dead to every single planeswalker every single turn. Yeah. All right. Thanks for playing. Are we really gonna like waste all my time here too? Just crack fetch lands and stuff. All right, sure. They want the most screen time possible. All right. They're playing to you know, maybe lightning hits my house and the router goes out, and that's that. So round number 3 in the books, and that was a good one. That was a good round. All right, round number 4 here. We are currently 2-1, winning die rolls, and hopefully drawing 1 mana spells. We want to see Utopia Sprawl. We want to see Arbor Elf, perhaps both in concert for 4 mana on turn 2. I'd like that. Also like to see our opponent hit okay here. We can start our game. There we go. And I'll take it. Look, it's Lurrus again for the 100th time ever in life. We're going to keep. We have Sprawl for turn 2, Liliana or Kaya. Of course, Kaya should be very good against this Lurrus deck in theory. We're going to Sprawl on black and then see where it takes us. I imagine either way, discard spell or whatever has you, we're going to have a turn 2 Planeswalker here, which is pretty good. And of course, Oath of Nissa to find our next Planeswalker and fix our mana for the rest of the game. What kind of Lurrus deck are you? Burn or Prowess? Goblin Guide. Actual, just straight burn. It's a good spot for Kaya. I'm not going to lie. Good spot for Kaya. Gains life. He might actually be interested in... Ooh, Carth the Lion. Sweet. Playing Liliana first. Maybe not, though. We can just Kaya exile the Goblin Guide. And it forces them to kill the Goblin Guide, basically. It's a little awkward that we have to fetch a shock land here. But there isn't really a way around that because we have to play a spell this turn. And we have no way to get a basic swamp or no basic plains in our deck. So this is going to hurt a little bit. If they have an Eidolon on turn 2 here, we could be in trouble. We could definitely be in trouble, but oh my god, I clicked the wrong land. All right. Liliana of a Last Hope it is. Which is honestly like fine, but really bad against Eidolon. This can plus Shrink Goblin Guide. It's effectively negates Goblin Guide. And I suppose we can always Carth the Lion next turn if they play an Eidolon. We are certainly taking some damage here. No Eidolon, please. Rift Bolt, love it. That's not a Rift Bolt. Susphere, sure. So now we're going to play Oath of Nissa, fetch a forest, and Kaya the Susphere, which is great. So again, not out of the woods yet, but all right, Heath. Let's just fetch a forest to start and slightly increase our Oath of Nissa odds. We're at 13, about to go to 10. We are definitely not out of the woods by any means. Our hand is fine, but here's Oath of Nissa. We're going to take a look at Carth, Liliana, Overgrown Tomb. I suppose you want Liliana, just a unique planeswalker. And then we're going to play Kaya. We're going to exile the Susphere. We've done a pretty good job at hitting the recurring damage sources. We could always actually Liliana and just gain 2 life off our own Carth too, because Kaya does gain life, but Carth's if we go to the graveyard, obviously. So hit that. And then hit this. And so we could go Liliana plus discard Carth and then eat it and gain 2 life, which is honestly worth a card. You know, if Rift Bolt deals 3, we gain 2 off this. It's pretty good. So Liliana could also cause an edict, I suppose, and then we can eat the card that way too. So that might actually be better. Just need to provide some sort of upward mobility here as far as our life total goes, because it is going to go down pretty quick. We've done a pretty good job handling the creatures. We've taken 3 total from the creatures, from 2 creatures, which is pretty good. You know, they usually want to get about 3 damage out of each card they play, so we've limited that a bit. They shock in a Sacred Foundry. They play another Swift Spear. And to Skewer the Critics. All right. This is getting a little dicey. They have 2 cards left. Oh my god. They're unloading here. We are 1 point short of dead. So we need to kill the Susphere and gain some life. And unfortunately, we're going to go to exactly 3, which is the exact life total you don't want to be at. Could be in some trouble here. I guess we could actually just Liliana. That doesn't work. Oh, we did Fatal Push. That's actually pretty good. So now we can Liliana, get both players' hands, discard Carth and their card, gain life off of Carth, push the Susphere, shrink the Goblin Guide, and then they have to draw a burn spell to kill us, which is obviously like half their deck, but that would at least give us a little bit of time to survive here. Okay, hold on, I'm sorry. I just talked through too many things. So we can also just push Susphere, gain life off Kaya immediately. And then Liliana, both players discard. We leave the Carth in our hand, I think. I should like that a little better. And then we can discard the Carth next turn. So let's do that. So Liliana. We're going to plus. Discarding the Wooded Foothills, because we're not cracking a sack land, so they discard a Boros Charm. All right, I mean, this is not going to be easy, but the path is here. They need to fade. We need to fade for 1 turn. Might have actually been better to shrink the Susphere and then we'll push the Goblin in attacks, but all right, eat that and that. All right, we need 1 turn here. We need them to miss for 1 turn. They miss for 1 turn. I gain 2 more life. We go to 5, and I'm feeling pretty okay about life. Here we go. Don't draw a burn spell. They drew a Rift Bolt, didn't they? Oh, Lava Spike. God. So we were like a flip there. I mean, like, obviously half their deck's burn spells. Like, you know, they drew a burn spell. But if we survive that turn, yeah, now we can discard Grist, gain life off that too. I think he would have won the game if they break for one turn there. They just drew a land, or I guess it's mostly just land. But all right, so tough game there, tough game, and we don't really have much of this matchup, honestly. I mean, Kai is pretty great. That's our only real like path to life. It feels like super linear decks like Burn and Mill seem pretty good against us because we're just like, they kind of operate on an axis that we don't care about. Like, we don't really gain. We kill creatures really good. We don't really gain life super well. I mean, yeah, I think that I would change this deck a bit. Like, we'll go over that at the end. But having an Elixir Immortality on the board, fixing the mana base a little bit, would definitely, I feel like, go a long way towards helping out some of these scenarios. So, we're on the play. Need a fast hand here. We're going to mulligan any hand that doesn't have a 1-drop. We need Arbor Elf, or we need Utopia Sprawl. I mean, this is turn 1, Arbor Elf, turn 2, Wrenn and Six, turn 3, Carth. The problem is none of these cards actually interact with the board. Like, Wrenn and Six is great and all, but doesn't actually kill anything. Can we afford to mulligan this hand? I don't know if we can, honestly. I don't know if we can. I'm going to keep. I am not thrilled about it, but... Alright, so we're going to play Forest, Arbor Elf. It's always a potential for a Goblin Guide to help us draw spells too, I guess, but... Turn 3 Carth is pretty good. It's pretty huge. Blocks most things. Doesn't get hurt by Eidolon. Alright, there's Goblin Guide. So... Goblin Guide is very good at helping you draw spells, because if there's a land on top, it just clears it. So, top card was a land. All right. So, fortunately, we're taking 4 from it at minimum, unless you draw a Planeswalker that can kill it here. Utopia Sprawl. Oh, wow. Wow. All right. So, now we're going to play Carth on turn 2, which is pretty good. I mean, we have to get a Forest. Play Forest, Sprawl, black. So we got our nut draw. This is the draw we were looking for, you know? All right, play Carth. Search only Karn. Well, that's actually pretty good because the Sprawl plus Arbor Elf can actually cast Wurmcoil pretty quickly. So next turn is Karn. And then the turn after is Wurmcoil. So that's got to be fast enough. We also have a big booty Carth here blocking this Goblin Guide too. So we have 6 mana next turn, potentially. We have the shock for 6 mana, though. So you could play Wrenn and Six, have the shock for it. Probably not going to bother doing that. Another spot where I'd love to have a Relic, because I'd probably just Karn for Relic. Just play Relic, you know? Arid Mesa. This Carth ain't going nowhere, so... It's also Chalice of the Void. We could Chalice on 1 next turn, actually. That's actually not bad either. We'll see how this turn plays out. Fetch Sacred Foundry. Sisphere. I mean... Rift Bolt. This is great for us. Rift Bolt, of course, costs 3. We draw Grist the Hunger Tide. So we can Karn Chalice on 1. I mean, it would cost us a shock to do it, which I'm not particularly excited about. Bridge. I also need this Arbor Elf to live if we plan on casting a Wurmcoil. So I think we're going to go for the Chalice. It's not going to be painless, that's for sure, but... Karn will also go to 4, so it can't be killed by Riftbolt, which is pretty good too. So he can survive to play Wurmcoil next turn. Really hate having to shock here, but we still have a choice. All right. I mean, they can cast Riftbolt. We have a blocker. We're 15, which is pretty good. We've turned off a pretty large portion of their deck. We still have like Riftbolt, Skewer the Critics, Boros Charm. You know, in terms of Bolt, Spikes, Goblin Guides, Swift Spears. Not everything, you know, but it's hopefully worth more than 2 life. The 2 life it took to cast it. Riftbolt targets me. Next turn is Wurmcoil Engine. Unless they kill my Arbor Elf, which would suck. It's 2, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Problem is, like, our hand was pretty good this game. I don't know if we could do much better than this, honestly. You know? All right, so they're going to say go. They definitely have Boros Charm. They still have 5 cards in hand. I think we're okay here. I think we're going to be all right. Fatal Push. Okay. I mean, going to go get Wurmcoil Engine. 2, 4, 6. And, I mean, they got to kill me. We're 12. End step Boros Charm. The thing is, they can't unleash the fury of 1-mana spells, so because they're a bit stuck behind you know, this Chalice here, I don't think they can do 12 to us. They can go Boros Charm, untap, bolt, bolt, bolt. You know, that would do it, but they can't do that. So Skewer and Riftbolt are both castable, but very awkward. I think we're going to be in good shape here to attack with this Wurmcoil Engine. Riftbolt. Oh, that's not going to do it. And Monster Spear into Chalice the Void. Sure. Yeah, that's game. All right, so game 3 is going to be tough on the draw, obviously, but hopefully our hand will be somewhat close to as good as this one. Overgrown Tomb, and now we're here to party. And you probably will get Walking Ballista and just cast it. Excuse me. So with Ballista and push up at 14 life, I think we're pretty good. I guess I'm sorry, we don't push. We can't guess push Chalice in play, but still, whatever. I think Ballista will do its job here. There's blocks a spear, shoot Goblin Guide. If Wurmcoil gets to attack again, the game is completely over. So dealing 14 here through a Chalice seems pretty tough. Sure. So that was a good hand on our part, and it wasn't the play. So now we're on the draw. It's going to be a little scary. We're going to go into the game. You know, I mean, turn 2 Liliana, or honestly any turn 2 Planeswalker would be pretty preferable here. Kaya being, you know, perhaps the most important of the Planeswalkers. But let's see what we can do. Definitely a matchup where a couple of Collective Brutality would go a long way in the sideboard, but there's a lot of targets here. Honestly, there's just like a lot of Karn targets here. I don't know how these cards are needed. You know, like, I mean, Tormod's Crypt and Grafdigger's Cage, Needle, I guess. I mean, obviously Bridge is good. Although our hand stays kind of full for Bridge, so like, I still have Liliana too, but, and like that Possessed Portal seems kind of silly. You know, I don't know if all these cards are needed. Damping Sphere might not be needed because of Chalice. All right, this hand's great. We have turn one Elf, turn 2 Sprawl, Sprawl, Liliana push. So we're gonna keep. Opponent keeps 7. This hand is about as good as it can be once again. But the question is, will it be good enough? Advantage for Goblin Guide, all 3 games. Good start. It's a land, sure. I mean, it's going to have us discard the hand size, which is fine, I guess. Ooh, Kai has a good draw. That was a very good draw. No. Almost misclicked. Oh, almost misclicked. I was going to cast Elf before Sprawl. Don't Searing Blaze me here. I can't imagine that card would be in their deck post-board because it has literally one target. But... well, I guess we can't actually Liliana and push. Because we need triple black. If we shotgun the Overgrown Tomb, we can. They're gonna bolt. Ooh, man, they have a really good hand here. All right, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. So they kill my thing, and this is just like play draw. You know, if we on the play, we probably win this game easily, but on the draw, like, you know, they're able to play 2 creatures and kill my thing before I can use it, and I'm already at 13. This game's already over. We can Utopia Sprawl. We can Fatal Push. It's actually not bad. We can like push and Arbor Elf. But it's going to be pretty tough to do better than that on future turns. Forest, Sprawl, Black. We're going to push the Suspir, I think, is the better hit. It's going to do 2. It's going to do at least 2 every time, probably. So, and of course, our Goblin Guy can help improve our draws a little bit, in theory. So, we do have a lot of mana next turn. We don't actually have white mana, but Fetch Shocking is really not in the equation at the moment. Rift Bolt, okay. So you're telling me there's a chance? You have Carth, too. Yeah, not having white's pretty tough here. Here comes Goblin Guide. Reveals an Oath. Ooh, that'll work. Oath of Nissa plays. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, Oath of Nissa obviously makes all of our Planeswalkers playable, so let's start there. Rift Bolt is looming. Instead, Boros Charm possibly looming also. Kaya can come down and go up, gain 2 life. But it's the same thing as killing Goblin Guy, because then we would just lose the 2 life anyway. So if we kill Goblin Guy, it's the same thing. Grist, Karn, Wrenn and Six. It's got to be Karn to try and get Wurmcoil, I guess. I mean, if their hand is like Burn Spell, I think we're just dead. And like if they have a Boros Char, I think we're just dead. I don't think there's anything we can actually do. But I guess I have 1, 2. I have 4 mana without shocking. Take Karn. We were dead to Boros Charm Bolt. We can't actually do anything about that. The question is, do I want a Liliana and Edict them? Do I want a Kaya and minus? Do I want a Kaya and plus? Liliana Edict also puts 2 creatures in the graveyard. Not 1. Of us only gains 2 at one time. I think it's Kaya gain 2, and then we just Liliana minus gain 2 again next turn. So just hope there's no Boros Charm. Realistically, like Boros Charm is the extra point. We were at 10. Every card they have does 3, but Boros Charm does 4. So play Kaya. And again, we're going to eat their graveyard. So we could exile the Goblin Guide, but that's the same as gaining 2 life anyway. And this gives us a Goblin Guide trigger at least. And this also goes up, so they can't kill the Kaya. So, yeah. All right. Hold on to your butts, folks. They drew the bolt in game 1. We lost our flip in game 1. I would really appreciate it if they didn't have Boros Charm here and also the remaining burn spells to kill us. Oh, it came in zapped. Oh my god, it came in zapped. So you're telling me there's a chance. We get to untap and Liliana. We can also just discard our Carth and gain 2 off of it as well. So we're effectively at 9 here from Riftbolt. Make that 6 from Riftbolt. But they only have 1 card in hand. They're drawing to 2. Every card deals 3. They're going to be 1 short. The problem is if they draw a 3 the next turn, we can't gain more than 2 life. So this is going to be... We need them to brick for like a turn. We just need a little bit of respite here. Respite could also be not attacking by accident. I assume it was an accident, so that works too. All right, now we're going to... They're going to slow roll us and bolt us. Sprawl again. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of mana. Sprawl here. Choose black again. Tap for a bunch. Cast Liliana. Minus targeting you. Plus Kaya. Now we're at 8. Okay. Carth or Karn? Karn allows for a Wurmcoil next turn. So we're going to Karn. Also, I want to keep Carth in my hand, because if I have to discard Liliana and gain 2 life next turn, that's a pretty reasonable plan. So, minus Karn. Again, them dealing 8 seems like a difficult task. All right. Pass the turn. End step. They drew the Boros Charm. Didn't have it last turn. Now we're at 4. I mean, if they didn't have it last turn, why would they have it this turn, you know? Oh my god. Are you kidding me? They must have just drawn runner Boros Charms. I guess if they had to actually attack with Goblin Guide like they meant to, then we would have been dead to a bolt anyway. Alright, I guess. Yeah, it does not seem like a very good matchup. Definitely just not really, doesn't really have the tools for it. Any deck that was more creature-based, which is the more popular prowess decks, totally fine. Because you can kill their creatures, they have less burn spells, but actual mono red burns is kind of tough. So, all right, round 5. Oh, look who it is again. It's Lurrus again for the 100th time in life. All right, so our hand's good though. Hand's good. Keep this. And we are on the fly. So we're gonna Forest Sprawl. I guess we have Oath of Nissa. So we can just, it doesn't actually matter what we sprawl on, honestly. Just get basic forests. I guess we'll sprawl in red because it plays pace for Wrenn and Six in case they thought he's my Oath of Nissa, but I imagine they would just take the Wrenn and Six. But so we have a swamp in our hand. In red, so they go. So if they have a Thoughtseize, they take Wrenn and Six. We get to cast Oath of Nissa. Look for a new Planeswalker. They don't have a discard spell. White. Oh, okay. It's hammer time this time. There's like so many freaking Lurrus decks. It's unbelievable. We played against 3 wildly different Lurrus decks. Mill, Burn, and Hammer Time. And these aren't even the... Oh, I'm sorry. We also played against Lurrus Blue-Black Control. And then we didn't play against the most popular Lurrus decks, which are the like the Ragavan, Kroxa, Jundi, Shadowy, whatever decks. Yeah, I think Lurrus is a problem, personally. I don't necessarily think it's broken, but I think it's really annoying that half the decks in the format are Lurrus decks, like actual half. I think banning Mishra's Bauble would probably do the trick, but all right. So there is the fear of, I guess we can't die next turn because they can't have an Infector, but so we're just gonna Oath of Nissa, Wrenn and Six here. I think having double push is really great for us, but this deck's a little scary. Wrenn and Six. I guess we could just like leave up push. Yeah, I should just do this. I think we're probably guessing Bush this turn, and then most of our walkers cost 3 for Oath of Nissa anyway, so we can Oath into a walker. Ornithopter number 2 is always a welcome sight. Inkmoth Nexus. All right, so this is a pretty good hand for them. They have all their pieces. Stoneforge Mystic, sure. Stoneforge for a Colossus Hammer. Yes. And they have the hammer hit if they want it right now, so. So, we'll go get I guess a duel. We don't actually have swamps left, so. Do that, do this. And untap to our turn. We have push again, which is great. Wrenn and Six, not the most useful, but whatever. We're going to start on... We have like actual swamp in our hand. We need to leave push up again or we just die to the Nexus. So, decent chance we're just playing a tap land this turn. Oath says Lion, Wrenn and Six. All right, so definitely the Lion. Bottom those 2. We can get back Catacombs, play Catacombs, and just say a go. You push up again, so we can deal with it this time. The next time around, it's going to be a problem. You know, actually, we don't actually have that many pushes in our deck, so and unfortunately, we don't really deal with the land very well either. So it's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. Kaya would be pretty good here. Kaya deals with everything. It's going to be a pure steel paladin. Oh my god. So now it equips for 0. This is a very bad play on their part. So they should have started this by equipping the Colossus Hammer to the Stoneforge for free. Because now I can Fatal Push the Pure Steel Paladin and they cannot equip a response. This is a very poor play for my opponent. So if you play this deck, heads up. So we're going to kill the Pure Steel Paladin in response. Because I can't kill both Nexus anyway. So we just need to hope they can't produce another hammer. So we're in bad shape here, folks. Because unfortunately, Planeswalkers don't interact well with creature lands because they are sorcery speed. So attacking Ram, which is totally fine. We're going to sack here and get some sort of land. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that, like, they only have 1 card left, so but we can't actually deal with these Nexi, so... And the pressure is on us to do something good here. Karn plays. I think Karn plays. We can get Needle. And just, so they have 1 turn to kill us, basically, I think. So if they can kill us, they win. If they can't kill us, we get to Karn. And then we get the Karn for a Needle named Nexus. And then, oh, Urza Saga's really good. It starts so good. All right. Oh, we're dead anyway. All right, sure. All right, so yeah, pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. Let's see if they screwed up or not. Yeah, I mean, they had the last cards. I mean, we just needed them. I feel like a lot of our day to day has been like needing our opponent to brick for 1 turn, and they've been pretty bad at doing that. They've kind of had it basically every time. So yep, that's 20 damage. We're dead. All right, this is not good for us. We are very, very heavily leaning on our fatal pushes here. We can bring our thoughts. The thing is, Thoughtseize like goes dead so fast because of how fast they empty their hand. We need Kaya. We need Liliana. Honestly, we can shave a line or 2 because like it's not really about the long game. And I guess we're gonna bring in Thoughtseize. I know it kind of stinks that it goes dead so fast. Like, just think we need it. And I think that the Liliana of a Last Hope seems pretty bad. I might actually cut both Lilianas and leave in a one of the Lions. Yep. So just had to fade for a turn. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. This deck does seem somewhat susceptible to being cheesed out. Like the really cheesy decks will just get us. Sounds good. We can keep this. We have turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Liliana, turn 3 Wrenn and Six Fatal Push. Like burn, mill, like the strategies that are sort of just like, haha, I gotcha. You know, our planeswalkers don't line up well against. So hopefully this turn wasn't too good. Ornithopter. Prismatic Ending. That's a... Really? I guess they have Springleaf Drum to produce other colors. Alright, I guess. It's pretty good. Is a very good new card. No. Undo. Undo. Alright, I mean, we have Liliana, we have Push. If they have a perfect draw here, we're just dead. Just can't do anything about it. Urza's Saga. Man, how good is Urza's Saga in this deck? Give Reverence. Okay. Alright, I mean, Liliana, I guess we're gonna plus. Because we minus, they just sack Ornithopter and attack it with the Give Reverence, so... Puts them at 2 cards in hand. Snow-covered plains. We're going to return the fetch land. And I mean, like, if they have a hammer here to kill one of our planeswalkers, we have Fatal Push. They're going to have hammer next turn, obviously, but they need a way to use it. They can Saga Construct, which is, like, fine, I suppose. It's only a 2/2, so if you, like, Edict them, they might sack Thopter, we can Wrenn and Six it. We have Push too, so... We'll see. We'll see what happens here. Just going to say go and make a Karn construct, it looks like. Arbor Elf. They have 2 cards in hand. So we're going to start by... I guess we can't kill the Saga token with Wrenn and Six. So let's end step it. Let's start by edicting them. Probably push the Give Reverence. Play Arbor Elf. This is an interesting choice. They're gonna sack the construct, not the Ornithopter. So their value. So they must have a way to equip the hammer to the Ornithopter, which is unfortunate because then we can't really stop that. No, they still sacked the Ornithopter, so that was also not a very good play. I guess they could like give Reverence now in response to our Fatal Push, but whatever. Sure. So maybe I should have... I just assumed the only reason they were going to make construct was sacrifice it. So I guess I should have, like, in response to the Saga activation, push the thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. All right, so play Arbor Elf. Get a land back. Play Catacombs. I guess I could have gotten it. Whatever, doesn't matter. So, all right. I mean, don't kill me, I guess. We are a little flooded here. Definitely could afford to draw a spell or two. All right, so they're going to construct. I mean, that's like fine. You know, they search for an artifact here. What are they going to get? You know, is it going to be... They get in the hammer doesn't really do a ton. We can just like block Edict them with Liliana. We should draw a spell realistically. We just have 7 lands and 4 spells so far, so we should really need to draw a spell. They're tanking. They're tanking. Pithing Needle? That's gross. Alright. I mean, so Wrenn and Six is no longer an option to us. Which honestly isn't that bad. I feel like I would have chosen Liliana. Like, what's Wrenn and Six doing here? We're just flooded. You know, it's like it's killing anything. Temple Garden. Alright, I mean, now I can edict them. We should please draw a spell here. That is a spell. That's a spell. Alright. Oath of Nissa. Oath of Nissa finds. Oh, come on. Alright, we'll take the Wrenn and Six, I guess. Stupid Oath of Nissa. Alright, yeah, not in great shape here. So, duplicate planeswalkers we can't use, what we can't use, and many lands. Sack the Class. Their hand's pretty bad too, I guess. So it might have some time to draw out of this. Sigarda's Aid. Or not. Or not. Now we're just head to a hammer. I mean, attacking a Wrenn and Six seems silly because like they just know we have another one, so. Oh man. Alright. Suppose the good news is now at least we can. Oh my god, another Urza Saga. This card's so good. 3 mana for a Lurrus into hand. Okay. Alright. I mean, Lurrus is also pretty good. Once again, I'm just begging to draw a spell. That is a spell. That is a spell. We can Grist, sack, elf, kill, construct. Yeah, I mean, we gotta defend the Grist anyway, so sure. I should tap this mana, whatever. Fortunately, there's 2 more constructs on the way, so I shouldn't play that land because they know I have this. Now they know I don't have enough push. Maybe they can go like Lurrus, Giver of Runes this turn. Oh boy. I mean, now we're just dead, right? They just got to go get a hammer, put it on the Lurrus, give it pro black, and kill us. Oh man, this is a pretty not fun match to end our set here. Yeah, make construct. Yeah, that's a thing, I guess. I mean, unfortunately, we kind of just drew all lands this game. Like, we got plenty of good ones, you know. I mean, Urza Saga is just completely unreal. But yeah, put that there, give pro black and kill us. Sports Center alert, you're dead. Still had all these ornithopters, I guess. Oh, all right. I mean, the deck felt really cool. I do feel like our losses were a little bleh, if you will. You know, both Burn and Mill seem like pretty bad matchups. And then this deck is also pretty cheesy too. We beat the, you know, the more like real or whatever, like fair decks we played against, decks that were like, you know, trying to not be cheesy. I will say I think a deck is misbuilt. I do think that there are way too many basic forests in the deck right off the bat. Sideboard has a few. It's funny. I think it's a few too many wish targets, but I also think there should be a relic, and I also think there should be a maybe an elixir immortality. Because elixir is specifically good against burn and mill. It's just like good in those fringe spots, and then also would have been good against the life gain deck as far as gaining infinite life. So we would have like had a better out to that, especially in paper that matters too. I would say that Possess Portal seems worthless. Even Damping Sphere, like what deck is Damping Sphere stop? You know, when are you getting that card? You know, cut the Damping Sphere. I'd probably cut the Cage for the relic, and I mean, I would love to get some more like sideboard interaction, but it's kind of tough, you know. I can see like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe in a third Kaya. Kaya was really good. I was very impressed with Kaya. Maybe cut a land for Kaya. Because the deck, like, between 4 Arbor Elf, 4 Sprawl, and 4 Oath of Nissa, you know, if you're counting Oath as a mana source a lot of the time, that's, you know, plus 12. It's like 32 mana sources or whatever. That's a lot. And we did Flood a lot. And then Wrenn and Six is also a mana source too. So I think that, like, cut a land, add a Kaya, less basic forest, fix the mana base up a little bit. I think playing a Blood Crypt is a good idea. Just, you know, one Blood Crypt is a little awkward, but I think it's just like probably a necessity. And then changes up the board a little bit. This deck was really fun, for sure. This deck is 5-0'd multiple times. Again, I've seen this deck like 3 or 4 times in the 5-0s. So that's what got me into playing it. But definitely has some polarizingly bad matchups among like the fringy, kind of cheesy out sort of decks. So deck's super fun. Definitely enjoyed it again. Chubby Rain's deck from a 5-0 in a league. I'm Jim Davis for CoolStuffInc.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that follow button if you're watching on the Cool Stuff channel. Check out my stuff as well personally. And of course, go to CoolStuffInc.com proper for A, my written article about this deck, always a companion article. B, my Friday article, which also happens as well. And C, all the free content every weekday. And D, all the best deals on Magic cards. Magic cards, board games, miniatures, they got it all on CoolStuffInc.com. Promo code Jim5, 5% off your order, and a free Jim Davis Goblin token. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Davis, and I'll see you next time.